Label contours. Okay, so let's pick up off of 0605 and open that up. Okay, so we're going to save as project. So this is 0606. This is begin. Okay, another save as, and then we'll do this as the complete. Of course, you can always start the chapter just based upon the class files that you find, which would be the begin, and then you'd make your own complete. But this will assure that you're always working with the latest and following exactly what I do, you're going to be doing as well, and there's no magic here. Okay, so let's just save that. So what are we doing next here? We're just going to label contours. Very simple thing to do. Nice though. Label contours. Okay, let's go to our site plan. Now, what are we looking at here? This is the property line. We've got the topo. We've got our markers as well, which are elevation markers. There's our project origin, the 00. Great. But what site is this? We don't really see any topography, any hills or anything like that. We have a little hill here at the back. So how do we see that? First thing, let's look at the phases. So the phase filter right now is saying show all, but the phase is existing. Let's change that to phase 1. And then let's say show complete. Now we can see our path. Now we can see a little bit of that topography. Now the next thing that we want to do is go to our view range and click on edit. We want to make sure that we're well above this plan so we're not actually sectioning through it. So right now we are 200 feet off of sea level. That's where we're cutting and looking. Let's make that just a little bit higher. Maybe 250 feet is plenty. Okay, and let's go back to the view range, just make sure our view depth is fine. Yep, no problem there. And if we're concerned, we could offset it down, but the level below is sea level, so it should not be a problem. I'm just going to go negative 10 feet just for good measure. Let's turn off the CAD. So let's right click, hide in view. Now, why are we having to constantly be turning off this CAD? Well, because it was 3D, because the lines have elevation, we decided to not check current view only. So when you check current view only, you don't see the CAD in every single view. You just see it in the current view that you brought it in. In this case, you do see it everywhere, but that's okay. That was a conscious decision that we made. But you can see the consequences. If you make everything not current view only, then you're going to see your CAD everywhere. So it is a good practice to have current view only checked when it's 2D and then unchecked when it's 3D. Okay, so back to our label contours. I like this as our site plan. We may even want to just go in here and rename or duplicate. It's not a bad idea to just do that. So we're going to duplicate what we've got here and right click and rename. And we'll call this one site phase 1. And then we'll say show complete, just indicating what our phase filter is. Okay, so how do you label the contours? Well, if you go to massing and site, then you go to label contours, there it is right there. Just click on it. And this is about as easy as it gets. Just zoom in and you're just going to click a first point and then just click a second point right across your contours. It's going to draw in an elevation for each contour. Now, depending on your scale, it'll vary what you can see. Right now, things are sort of crashing into each other. We may want to change that a little bit. So let's just click on that one and see if we have a smaller label. We'll just edit the type of this one. Let's duplicate it. We're going to call this one contours 1. And let's make the text size even smaller. We'll say a 32nd. And we'll say, okay, there we go. Now things are a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to read, just at this scale. If we were to bump the scale down a little bit, you'd be able to read it better. So if we were to say, 1/16 inch to the foot, already things are getting a little bit better. But you can adjust the text. Now, why are some of these reading upside down? Well, that's just the way topo maps are. Depending on whether it's going up or down, that's where the text is going to put itself, and that's just a standard convention. So you can draw multiple contours or labels, and if I just draw another one through there, I'm going to click on that particular contour label, and I'll just say contours 1, and then there's the other side. Okay, so that's labeling contours.